What if the greatest battle of your life isn't happening around you, but quietly inside you? What if the voices that have kept you awake at night, the memories you cannot escape, and the fears you cannot explain have become stronger than the truth God has been trying to speak into your heart all along? The weeks following Daniel's conversation with Michael brought something he had not experienced in a very long time. Stability. It wasn't perfect, and it certainly wasn't easy, but life no longer felt like it was collapsing every time he opened his eyes. His relationship with his brother was slowly healing. Work had become manageable after setting healthy boundaries. Even the silence inside his apartment felt less lonely than it once had. Yet every morning before the sun fully climbed above the horizon, another battle quietly began. It wasn't a battle anyone else could see. It happened before Daniel spoke a single word, before he answered an email, before he poured his first cup of coffee. It began with a thought. Some mornings the thought whispered, "Nothing has really changed." Other mornings it sounded more convincing. "You're only pretending to be stronger. Eventually you'll fail again." There were days when it reminded him of Rachel, replaying her final goodbye as though it had happened only moments ago. On other days it dragged him back to childhood, reminding him of every moment he believed he had disappointed someone he loved. Daniel started noticing something he had never recognized before. His circumstances no longer controlled his emotions as much as his thoughts did. The same apartment that had once felt like a prison now felt peaceful on some days and unbearable on others, even though nothing inside it had changed. The difference was not the room. The difference was the conversation taking place inside his own mind. One rainy Tuesday morning, Daniel stood in front of the bathroom mirror while buttoning his shirt. He caught his reflection and immediately heard the familiar accusation. "Rachel left because you were never enough." Months earlier, he would have accepted those words without question. They sounded believable because they echoed his deepest insecurity. But this time he paused. Instead of agreeing with the thought, he asked himself something simple. Is that actually true? The question lingered in the quiet room. Yes, he had neglected his relationship. Yes, he had hidden behind work. Yes, he had failed to communicate. Those things were true. But they were not the same as believing he was incapable of being loved. For the first time, Daniel realized that shame always mixed facts with lies. It took one mistake and transformed it into an identity. It turned failure into worthlessness. It turned regret into hopelessness. It turned fear into destiny.
You leaned closer to the mirror and quietly said, "I made mistakes, but I am not my mistakes." The sentence felt unnatural. You repeated it anyway. Again, then once more. With every repetition, something shook him. He wasn't denying his past. He was refusing to let his past become his future. Renewing the mind, he realized, was not pretending painful memories had never happened. He was choosing which voice deserved the final word. Later that afternoon, Daniel met Marcus for lunch. Marcus noticed the notebook Daniel carried everywhere now. "You're always writing something," he smiled. Daniel opened the notebook to a page divided into two columns. At the top of one column he had written, "What fear says." At the top of the other, "What God's truth says." Marcus wrote down as Daniel read aloud. "Fear says, I'll always be alone. God's truth says I am never abandoned. Fear says one mistake ruined my future. God's truth says grace creates new beginnings. Fear says, I have to control everything. God truth says trust is stronger than control." Marcus stared quietly for several moments before speaking. "I never thought about arguing with my own thoughts." Daniel smiled gently. "Neither had I. I expect you was bleeding every side, and my mind was automatically true. My guess not solving. Maybe that's why I've been so exhausted. Daniel closed the notebook. The battlefield isn't outside as most days. It tried you. He tapped his forehead, and every battle begins with deciding which voice will believe. That evening, Daniel took a walk through the neighborhood after the rain had stopped. The streets glistened beneath the streetlights, and the cool air carried a shade of weather. He found himself thinking about something his mother used to tell him when he was a boy. Whenever he became frightened by thunderstorms, she would open the curtains and say, "The storm looks bigger when you hide from a window." At the time, he never understood what she meant. Now he did. Fear always became larger inside the imagination than it appeared in reality. It fed on uncertainty. It loved silence. It grew stronger whenever it remained unchallenged. As Daniel reached the small park where he had played so many times before, he sat on a familiar wooden bench overlooking the lake. The water reflected the evening sky like polished glass. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Lord, I'm tired of believing every fearful thought that enters my mind. Teach me how to recognize your voice above all the others." No audible answer came, yet a quiet realization settled into his heart. He had spent years asking God to remove every fearful thought. Perhaps God was teaching him something even greater, not how to eliminate fear completely, but how to stop giving it authority. The next morning brought another challenge. An unexpected email informed Daniel that one of his biggest projects had encountered serious complications. Immediately, the old thoughts rushed back. "You're going to fail. Everyone will blame you. This proves nothing has changed." Daniel felt his pulse quicken. He wanted to panic. Instead, he closed his laptop, took a slow breath, and opened his notebook. Without hesitation, he wrote, "Bear speaking intent." Then beneath it, he wrote another sentence. "But Bear is no longer my teacher." The anxiety didn't disappear instantly. His circumstances remained difficult, but something inside him had become stronger than the fear itself. Faith was beginning to enter before panic had the chance. That night, before going to bed, Daniel opened his Bible and read quietly until one verse captured his attention. "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." He smiled. For years he had prayed for a different life, yet God had begun by changing the way he saw it. Perhaps that had been the miracle all along. A renewed mind would eventually create a renewed life. He closed the Bible, turned off the bedside lamp, and lay in the darkness. The familiar silence filled the room once more, yet it no longer frightened him. He knew the battle would return tomorrow. Fear would still whisper. Doubt would still knock at the door of his mind. But now Daniel possessed something he had never carried before. He possessed the ability to answer those whispers with truth. And sometimes, the greatest victory is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to believe God one thought at a time until faith becomes the loudest voice within your soul.
If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. Subscribe to our channel and join us for the next unforgettable episode. Every story is a journey of hope, faith, and transformation. Click subscribe now, and we'll see you in the next chapter.